So Conor McGregor was on Twitter and he tweeted out hashtag Ask Notorious. And he was asked who you got, Oliveira or Islam. And he replied with Ollie and easily. Ollie being Oliveira. And then he was asked, unfortunately the tweet is unavailable, it doesn't actually matter, but he was asked the question, can't actually see it because, like I said, the tweet is unavailable. He said, I've KO'd every Brazilian I've fought. I KO Charles too. So he thinks that Charles Oliveira is gonna win against Islam and is going to be the undisputed champion at lightweight. And he also believes that he's gonna KO Charles. And the funny thing is, or the bizarre part about this whole thing, is that he was also asked the question in the same hour. He was asked WW next question mark. Now WW I think means welterweight. I could be wrong, but probably not, because WW is what we call welterweight. And Conor McGregor said definitely. Now that to me is very bizarre, because he thinks that Charles is gonna be the champion, and he also thinks that he's gonna KO Charles, not just beat him, but knock him out. But he also said that he's definitely going to go to 165. And the problem with that is, it's like me being gay and then going to Iran. Those are two contradicting ideas. You can't be gay then go to Iran. Alright? That would be a very bad idea. And if he thinks that he can KO Charles, and if he thinks that Charles is gonna be the champion, why go to 170? He knows that he can beat Charles. He knows that Charles wants to fight him. The only reason why Charles would fight him, because Charles wants that red panty night. And the only reason why Conor McGregor would take that fight is because he wants to become the champion. You, whatever you may say about Conor McGregor and how he's done, his best days are behind him, and it is all over. No matter what you say about Conor McGregor, Glover Teixeira became the champion at 46 years old. Now, of course, these two guys are different because Conor McGregor already had his peak. But you're telling me that Conor can't beat some of these guys. I'm pretty sure if you were to make Charles versus Conor right now, I do believe that Charles will be the favorite, but I don't think he would be like that crazy of a favorite. He could be like 2-1, 1-1, but it's not. You don't know what will happen once Conor McGregor is back and ready to go. His last fight was ended due to an injury. It's all because of that injury. And if Conor comes back and does everything properly, I do believe that he can win. But the problem here is that Conor is saying that he's gonna move up 165, but at the same time he thinks that Charles Oliveira will become the champion, and he also believes that he can KO Charles. Now Conor knows that Charles wants to fight him. Conor believes that Charles will become the champion. Why would you move up 165 if you could fight Charles and do it for the belt? Because you're gonna make a fight with two guys that believe that they can win against the other guy. Both these guys believe that they can beat each other. And I think Conor McGregor doesn't think that he's gonna get a shot at Oliveira. But who is there in the way of Conor McGregor's, title shot? And I know people will tell Conor McGregor that he doesn't deserve the title. He's Conor McGregor. It doesn't matter if he's gonna get the title. I mean, it doesn't matter if he's gonna fight for the title, right? Because we need to give Charles Oliveira what he wants, right? I mean, Charles Oliveira is the champion. He's beat almost everybody. If he beats Islam, who is there for him? I mean, why would you not allow Charles to pick and choose and nitpick? If everybody is already done, already been KO'd, already been tapped out, already been decisioned, why would you not allow Oliveira to choose his opponents, since everybody is just... The reason why Islam didn't like Charles Oliveira picking Conor and picking Nate is because he still wants to get that fight. Charles hasn't finished all of the contenders. There's still Islam over there, and Islam doesn't like that he's giving Conor and Nate chances when he hasn't given him any chances. But if Charles beats Islam, who is there for Charles? Right? Like, who is there for Charles so he can just pick Conor McGregor? And, like, I'm just an average dude. I'm just, your average fan. I'm pretty sure Conor already thought about this. Like, the fact that I'm thinking about this doesn't take you much. Like, this is basic information. We know that Charles wants to take that fight with Conor. We know that there's nobody else for Charles. Therefore, he can get a fight with Conor McGregor. But then why is Conor McGregor saying 165? It's like, like what I said earlier. If you're gonna be gay, you don't want to go to Iran. That probably is a pretty bad joke, but it's the only one that I can think of. It's the only, analogy. It's like, if you're... I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna... Not even. But you get what I'm trying to say here. But, if there's somebody that Charles could fight, then who would it be? Because the only reason why Charles can now nitpick if he beats Islam is because there's nobody out there. There's nobody out there for him to whoop. I know that there's Volkanovski, but at the same time, there's also somebody for Volkanovski. I mean, if Charles wants to fight Conor McGregor, like, I know some of you might tell me that, well, Volkanovski's deserved it. Well, same thing with Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira also deserves, to have an opportunity to fight whoever he wants. But then if there's somebody that would pose a problem to Conor McGregor's title shot, it would be simply Khabib Nurmagomedov. Because there's no bigger fight right now of lightweight than Charles versus Khabib. Now, I know Khabib is retired, but imagine the scenes. Khabib, Charles is just defeated Islam. It may be TKO, submission, decision, whatever it may be, he just probably not a decision. I mean, I'm not saying that, the judges are corrupt, but I just don't think that that would happen. But Charles wins. Islam is either sleeping on the floor or laying on the floor after he just stabbed, or after, you know, his neck was put out of commission. Khabib would see everything. He would see Islam get stopped. He would see Islam lose that opportunity that he was training for, that he was preparing for years. He would see his brother. I mean, these two guys are not brothers, but they literally were born together. They were raised together. He would watch his brother, not accomplish what Khabib did, what he did. He would watch all that play out. And Charles would call out Khabib. Charles would want to call out Khabib because if he's gonna go with Conor, why not bet on everything and call out the guy that's in the building, which is Khabib? That would be an astronomically bigger fight than Conor versus Charles. Khabib versus Charles, that would be massive. Especially after Charles just won the belt that he rightfully didn't even lose. I mean, could you imagine seeing Islam, somebody that you've been watching for years, training and just being in the gym all day every day, get stopped, and then you see him not accomplish what you wanted him to accomplish, and then Charles calls you out. That would be a big fight. But I just don't believe that Khabib would come back. Khabib told Brett Okamoto 2 years before he retired in a coffee shop, Starbucks, that he was excited to... He didn't say he was excited to retire. He said he was excited to be free. He didn't even say retire. He said he was excited to be free. He was excited to dive deep into other hobbies that, like football and all that. Like, he wanted to do all those things, but he never got the opportunity to because he was training to become the best. And Khabib, being Khabib, he was really dedicated to being the best. He didn't cut any corners. And why would Khabib want to go back to that, into competing? He didn't want to compete. He didn't want to compete. He doesn't want to compete anymore. He's already done. He's closed that book. He's done with it. And I don't believe that Khabib would come back. He's happy. Why would he want revenge for Islam? He knows that it's Islam time. It's not his time. He would not just be disobeying his father, but disobeying his mother. His father told him that once you leave, it's Islam time. You're not gonna come back to get revenge for Islam. If Islam loses, he gets back. He doesn't. Khabib cannot make this about him and make that loss of Islam an opportunity to come back. He would be disobeying his father and his mother, that I'm pretty sure is still alive, right? His mother told him that he made a promise to his mother that he's not gonna fight again. That is very... I don't think he's gonna come back. The Muslims they hold their mother very high. They're very religious. And I think Khabib not coming back gives Conor the opportunity to put himself in there. But then why is he saying 165? And I'm pretty sure Conor knows that Charles wants to fight him. And I'm pretty sure that Conor, can fight Charles. He really can. If Conor believes that he would not get that shot at Charles, he's not gonna get it at welterweight, because the only thing is he's gonna move up welterweight to fight for the title. He's not gonna get that, right? He's gonna move up welterweight because he's not gonna get a chance at lightweight, but that is his best chance of getting to a title. Because if we think that Conor doesn't deserve to be fighting for the title, then at lightweight, then he's definitely not gonna get that at welterweight. If Dana White is not gonna book a fight with Conor and Charles because he thinks that Volkanovski deserves to fight Charles, then Conor will also not get to fight at welterweight for the title. His best chance is at lightweight. Why would he move up welterweight when it would not increase his chances of fighting for the belt? It would in fact decrease his chances of fighting for the belt. It would take him a couple more fights to fight for the belt at welterweight, I would imagine. Because that's not his division. I mean, there's guys out there that they could put up with the welterweight champion than Conor McGregor. But in lightweight, that's not the case. Right? But the thing is, Volkanovski is also a contender coming off featherweight. Right? But the problem is, Volkanovski can fight somebody else. That's the thing. Volkanovski can fight somebody else. So I think Conor McGregor is making a mistake by saying that he wants to move up welterweight. That, welterweight is definitely next. I think that's a problem. Because the best chance that he has for fighting for the title is only at lightweight. And I think this welterweight next question mark, did him replying definitely, is a mistake. Because he can cut the line because he's Conor McGregor. Not just that, but Charles has no other opponents. Volkanovski, yes, but Volkanovski can also fight somebody else. Charles doesn't have any other opponents. But most importantly, Charles also wants to fight Conor. And Conor believes that Charles is going to be the champion. And he also believes that he can KO Charles. So why say welterweight? Why would you say welterweight? When simply you could be fighting for the lightweight title for less effort.